Good day to everybody out there to see thy wealth, water your health, drink a glass of water. And it's raining outside. We've been having rain for the last 3 or 4 days. And I must say I'm kind of stacked up on water now, so that's great. I'm off grid. And what I mean by off grid is I have no hookup to any water supply that's being provided by the government. I have no hookup to any power supply that's being provided by any third party, municipality, or energy company. And I have no Wi-Fi here. Well, I have solar. I have a battery bank for my solar. I have a garden growing out back here. I have fruit trees to provide for my food. So that's what I mean by off-grid. I'm not connected to the grid whatsoever when it comes to any third parties. I know everyone has their version of what off-grid is. They will say you're not off-grid because you're putting out videos or whatever the case may be, whatever. Now, I wanted to speak about what's been going on, really. I haven't really been paying attention because I'm not living in the United States right now. And I just haven't been keeping up with the news. But this Iran-Israel deal and war and whatever's going on, I don't know. I really haven't been keeping up with it, and I really haven't had the time. But what I do know is if a war breaks out, what are you going to do? That's a question we have to ask. What are you going to do? The people that's watching me in the United States and, pretty much all over, what are you going to do for food? What are you going to do for water? What are you going to do? And are you okay with the fact that someone else has the authority to press a button and send you to war with people that you don't even know and you have no problem with? See, these are the tricks and the games that people play with our lives, and we don't even understand. We don't understand it because we're too busy focused on things that really have no real meaning. We're not worried about how to grow our own food or how to dig our own well or build our own homes or none of that stuff. We're worried about the wrong things. The entertainment, the Snapchat, the YouTube, the Instagram. Me personally, I'm happy to be where I am right now, and I'm happy to be off grid. I'm happy to be in control of my destiny. Because if a war breaks out, doesn't mean I'm safe. Just means I'm a step ahead of them to a certain degree. Because I can go outside and feed myself if they stop delivering to the grocery stores. I can go and get water if they turn off the municipality, flip that switch, and there's no water coming out the spigot. It's always going to be water here for me for now. At least until if there's a drought, then, But besides that, we have water coming from the earth. I didn't leave the U.S. because I was scared. I didn't. To be honest with you, if I could have afforded the amount of acres that I bought here in Central America in the U.S., I probably would have stayed in the U.S. and been off grid. So I'm not saying that I left because I knew this was coming. I'm one step ahead of the game. No, I just knew that I like fresh fruits and vegetables. I wanted to grow them. I knew that we went through COVID. COVID was very intense. We had to line up outside of someone else's grocery store. We had to leave the house when they told us we could. I don't want to say when they told us we could, but we can go to work if we weren't working remotely, unless we were in healthcare and all that kind of stuff. It was just very serious, especially living in Los Angeles. We couldn't go hiking. I spent a lot of time out in the desert, so I really had a yard and all that stuff. So I was very fortunate. But when that whole George Floyd thing went on, it was very, very serious. We was in the city at the time and almost got stuck when all of those people just started rioting everywhere. And I just realized that, man, there's really no control that I have. I was on my way to a restaurant to get something to eat, and just everybody just went out into the middle of the street and just started, everything was crazy. And I realized that I had no control over my life. And I had to make a change. You know what I'm saying? And that's have me out here. And it's raining outside to provide water for my crops, for my fruit trees, my coconuts, my mangoes, right? My sancoya, plenty of mango tree here, lots of coconuts, herbs, vegetables now being grown. But to see what's going on in this possible war that could break out, drafting of kids, you may say that's a fear. To me, honestly, I'd be thinking that when they speak like that, it's all fear. tactics to move the markets, to get people to move in whatever direction they want them to move in, but at the end of the day, when people start doing stuff like that, and even though they may seem like fear and scare tactics, you still have to act upon those things, because it just may not be a scare tactic after all. So that's where the seeds are important for your vegetables and your fruits, because once you're growing your own food, what does it matter? What if you have your own water, if you have your control of your own power? What does it matter what's going on outside of these four walls? Yeah, it may be selfish to think that way, but the fact of the matter is, you have to have your community with you in your four walls and be able to take care of your community. Because when shit hits the fan, you can't worry about everybody else. You have to be worried about if you can take care of your children, yourself, your immediate community. Everything else is null and void at that point. If you can't take care of your immediate community, then you got to worry about going outside of these four walls and finding out how to take care of your immediate family and community. So why not prepare now? Why not start to look for items, Google items that you need to prepare for doomsday or war? Because right now it is very important to be in control of your own resources, natural resources. I want to be set up on this land to a point to where I don't care if I don't have a car. I don't need to leave the land. I have everything right here. God has provided me everything. I don't want to leave my land if I don't have to. And if I don't have to, then I want to be able to provide and source everything right here. Do for self. Take responsibility and accountability for your life. The government is not going to save you. People have their best interests at heart. Their children. The people over in Congress, these senators, these governors, they do not care about you. They may start off wanting and caring and wanting to do right, but somewhere along that line, you realize that you cannot change the system. And you fall in line and you get in line and you just collect your check every 2 weeks or a month. You have to start to think for self and do for self. And with that, man, I hope everybody's having a good day. I'm having a rainy season here, so I'm going to create a few videos, but it's time to do for self. Do you have beans, rice, water? Like, it's time to stock up. Generators. These are all things that I need to buy as well. But I already have my shelter. I have my already grown. I have my solar. Everybody can't do it. Listen, that's a video to do. To get started on being off grid, I have to speak about that. And that's what I'll do. With that, everybody have a good day. I appreciate y'all for tapping in. This is See Thy Wealth. Please like video. Water your health. Drink a glass of water. Peace.